This week in Jamaica Now, how the X6 murder trial collapsed. Businessman Patrick Powell walks free after the main witness recants his statement. The Director of Public Prosecution weighs in. And the Justice Minister says he is prioritizing a reform of the judicial system. Outrage as a 14-year-old Jamaica College schoolboy is stabbed to death in a cell phone robbery. Police find missing Honda CRV a day after the young Reggae Boyz team doctor is murdered at his Barbican home. And Clinton versus Trump, Jamaicans' choice for the American president. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. There was intense public analysis of the justice system this week after businessman Patrick Powell was freed of the murder of schoolboy Kajil Mays in the so-called X6 murder case. The trial judge Lloyd Hibber directed the jury to return a not guilty verdict after the prosecutor Jeremy Taylor told the court that the Crown would offer no further evidence against Powell. Taylor made the declaration as the prosecution's case collapsed because the main witness, taxi driver Wayne Wright, denied elements of his statement to the police that he saw Mr. Powell at the scene of the shooting on July 1, 2011. Wright had said shots were fired into his red Toyota Succeed taxi, hitting the schoolboy after he crashed into the rear of a black high-back SUV. Forensic evidence showed that paint on the taxi matched the paint of the X6. Gunpowder residue was also found in the taxi as well as in the X6, but prosecutors said the case would be weak without Mr. Wright admitting in court that he saw the shooter. And during the trial, the prosecution regarded the taxi driver as a hostile witness. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, has since indicated that her office, along with the police, are reviewing the case file to determine if possible charges can be brought against the taxi driver. The driver, Wayne Wright, has insisted the police were forcing him to testify that he saw Patrick Powell at the murder scene. The DPP says days before the trial, Wright refused to communicate with prosecutors and maintained his position even after she intervened.
All we ask our witness to do is to say what is the truth. So that is his stance. So basically, even though you can use your experience and you, even sometimes at the risk of appearing to be a psychologist or attempting to be, you hope for the best, but you can't really, in cases of this nature, be absolutely sure what a witness is going to say until he goes into the witness box, because his stance was non-communicative in respect of what he was going to say.
Meanwhile, defense attorney Patrick Atkinson has rejected allegations that the main witness in the so-called X6 murder trial was intimidated. He says the case against his client, Patrick Powell, was weak from the start.
I don't know who they're trying to say reach him, but they better be careful about it. Because what he said in court was on the issue of identification was exactly what he said on the 5th of the first statement he gave. He says one thing, he changed it, and he reverted to what he said in the first place.
And the Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the government will be pursuing a suggestion for law enforcement personnel to video record witness statements for use as evidence in court. In making the suggestion, former Deputy Commissioner of Police Mark Shields argued that the video recording of interviews and statements of key witnesses would help to eliminate doubt from the minds of jurors. The police have also been defending their role in the investigation, saying they did everything possible for a successful prosecution. Although Powell has been freed of the murder, he remains before the court for failing to submit his licensed firearm for inspection. The matter is scheduled to be called up on November 18. Powell last renewed his firearm license in March 2011, that's 4 months before the Kajil Mays murder. There was more outrage this week after a 14-year-old Jamaica College schoolboy was stabbed to death during an attempted cell phone robbery on a coaster bus. Nicholas Francis was killed after he reportedly resisted the attempts of the attacker to take his phone. The police have since listed Kwesi Hart as the man wanted for his murder. The Jamaica College Old Boys Association has offered a $250,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the suspect. Police investigators are now conducting forensic analysis of the black Honda CRV of slain medical doctor Martin Garwood. The car was found abandoned in the Queen Hill area of St. Andrew yesterday, a day after Dr. Garwood's body was found with several stab wounds at his Barbican house in St. Andrew. The police have not yet established a motive for the killing, but they believe Dr. Garwood, the young Reggae Boyz team doctor, knew his killer. They also theorize that the killer was injured in an apparent struggle. Several communities, particularly in eastern Jamaica, were left flooded this week following heavy rains brought on by a weather system affecting the Central Caribbean. In Portland, raftsmen lost their rafts on the Rio Grande and the Transport Authority compound was flooded. Several roads were also impassable as rivers overflowed their banks. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump on November 8 in the United States. Jamaicans make their pick for President of the United States of America.
Obviously Hillary going to win because, Donald has been making a fool of himself.
Donald Trump, you know why I'm going to win? Because I'm stand up for where I'm deal with.
A 52 state upon the American continent. And a 52 card in a pack when I take out the joke of them out of it. So you know what that mean? Donald Trump I got Trump up the state them that card pack for the dads.
Yeah, I would have to say Hillary because I don't know Trump. No, my God pan him rum.
Donald Trump can't win. Hillary me says straight. I feel that she's the better one to run the country. He cannot do anything.
I know that Donald Trump will win the election. Because Donald Trump is an honest man and him talk the truth. Him say the Negro in America are living in the worst community. They have the worst job and then children go to the worst school. That is so true. And when Donald Trump win, I think the black in America will wake up because they are sleeping for so long. They do not have a country and believe that America is their country. They must establish and build their own country from the ground up.